Reggie Bush. Similar situation. I guess his parents took some money, or they were living in a house, and he ended up having his Heisman Trophy taken from him.
It's his right, but if it were me, Skip Bayless, I'd still have the Heisman. I would not have given it back. I don't care what anybody says. That's my Heisman Trophy. I earned it. Reggie Bush did not cheat.
However, in 2010, the NCAA forced USC to vacate its 2004 national championship.
Reggie Bush, arguably one of the most iconic players to ever play college football.
He thought he had it. He did. He had possession when he hit it.
Bush was a Hall of Fame caliber athlete who was arguably robbed by the NCAA. In a season where the Heisman looked to be unanimous, the tables turned quickly for Bush, bringing his entire world down. This is the story of how the NCAA failed Reggie Bush. In 2003, Reggie Bush arrived in LA to begin his college career with the USC Trojans. It is no secret that Bush had an unreal run at USC. As one of the most explosive offensive players, Bush helped lead the Trojans to 3 national championships. It would be no question that he was an upcoming star after he was nominated as a freshman All-American in 2003. Over the span of his 3 seasons in LA, Bush helped the Trojans to #1 in the final AP poll in 2003 and 2004. They would finish as #2 in 2005 with only 2 total losses over the 3-year span. This would include a highly thrilling 41-38 Rose Bowl loss to Texas in one of the most iconic games in college football history.
The royalty of college football is in assembly at the Rose Bowl 2006. Bush, Leinart, Young, and their legion. By consensus, the teams ranked 1 and 2, with nary a whisper of dissent. The site for this ultimate showdown in college football is one of the famed...
If this was not already enough, Bush set an NCAA record with 7.3 yards per carry during his career. He also led the NCAA with 222 all-purpose yards per game, finishing 4th nationally with 133 rushing yards per game as well. In 2005, he recorded 513 all-purpose yards versus Fresno State. Hold on, what? 513 all-purpose yards, which ranks 2nd in the NCAA. Sheesh. This is where the controversy would all begin for Bush versus the NCAA. See, back in the day, times were different. There was no such thing as NIL, otherwise known as name, image, and likeness.
Passed it the very next month. Some of the highlights of the Texas NIL law: it allows student athletes to be paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness. For instance,
the student athletes have been able to get deals where they go and they sign autographs, for example, or where they get to go to an event and be paid to actually be at that event.
The Texas NIL law also requires universities to approve NIL deals.
In the early 2000s, the idea of college athletes making any money, receiving gifts, or profiting off of their status as a college athlete was heavily prohibited. We will touch more on this at the end of the video, as it will better tie this story together. The truth is, Reggie Bush was becoming so elite at the college level that he was gaining more and more eyes. And we all know, with more eyes comes more responsibility for trouble. As Bush's college talent level rose, so did his status. He began to be seen driving nicer cars, wearing nicer clothes, and spending a little more money than usual. In 2005, Bush would have the season of his career as a junior. He would be the obvious forefront for Heisman, winning the trophy by landslide over other legends like Texas star quarterback Vince Young. In this season, he would top off his amazing college career after leading the nation with 2,218 yards and 19 touchdowns. Wait, hold on, 2,000 yards. It would be no question why Bush was named the 2005 AP Player of the Year and Walter Camp Award winner.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the 2005 Walter Camp Football Foundation Player of the Year Award to Reggie Bush.
At this point, Bush was on cloud 9. He would finish this season as a national champion, and it was clear that Bush was more than ready for his introduction to the NFL. Now that we have the context out of the way, this is where the story actually gets interesting. After deciding to skip his senior season and enter the NFL, Bush would be drafted as the 2nd overall pick. This would be the beginning of a long road of twists and turns for Reggie's career. As he would come to find out, this would be the first lens into the controversy that was yet to come for Bush.
So I only interviewed with Houston, Texans.
Boy. You're right.
I only spoke to Houston. That was it. So everything I'm thinking is I'm going to Houston. I'm looking for property down there already. And then the night before, we find out on ESPN that Mario Williams is going first on the ticker. That's how we found out.
Wait, you didn't know until the...
They didn't call us, no nothing. Right? We found out. You see the thing come across, Mario Williams, #1 pick. We was like, what the? And so my agent's calling. And then obviously the Saints got the 2nd pick, and then the Jets have the 3rd pick.
Right before the draft began, there was speculation from a disclosed Yahoo Sports report that Bush and his family received financial benefits from several agents. After hearing about the rumors, the NCAA would unleash a sneaky investigation into Bush and USC as a whole. Now, many people wonder why an organization which profited billions of dollars off college athletes would be so opposed to athletes making a small percentage of revenue for themselves. And I mean, there are many opinions on this argument, some from athletes and some from non-athletes, but that is something that we can revisit a little later. Keep in mind that the draft occurred in April of 2006. Later that year in September, Yahoo Sports released an investigation 8 months later. It was officially reported that Bush allegedly received $100,000 from marketing agents during his time at USC. Along with Bush, it would also be reported that his stepfather, mother, and brother all received compensation in the form of free hotels, clothing, airfare, a new car, and rent-free housing.
The NCAA has come down hard on Southern California following a 4-year investigation of the school. The penalties include a 2-year football postseason ban and a loss of 30 football scholarships. In its report Thursday, the NCAA cited USC for a lack of institutional control, which detailed numerous violations primarily involving Heisman Trophy-winning tailback Reggie Bush and men's basketball player O.J. Mayo. The NCAA found that Bush, identified in the report as a former football student-athlete, was ineligible beginning at least by December 2004 and through the 2005 season. They ordered USC to vacate every victory in which Bush participated while ineligible.
Aside from the actual sanctions that the NCAA placed on USC, another problem for Bush would be the misperceptions that the media drilled into college football fans in general. The first misconception would be that USC paid Reggie Bush to commit and play football for the university. This was a statement that was never confirmed or proven by investigators that started the Bush case, as well as from Reggie Bush himself.
Reggie Bush did not accept any kind of pay for play for USC. The truth is, Reggie Bush played for USC out of devotion. Devotion that earned him many collegiate records and awards, including the Heisman Trophy, the highest honor bestowed on a college football player.
In actuality, there was no confirmation of records showing that USC bought a house, car, or any gifts for Reggie. At this point of the story, there are two critical people that I have not brought up just yet: Lloyd Lake and Michael Michaels. Never trust a man with two first names. Now, it's safe to say that Lloyd might be responsible for the chain of events that Reggie had to experience in this ongoing battle with the NCAA. Reggie was provided a house and a used car, but the biggest question would be from who? And this is where Lloyd plays a pivotal role in the story. Lloyd Lake was an ex-convict who had aspirational dreams of becoming a sports agent. When he was released from prison, he realized that a friend of his, Reggie Bush's stepfather, Lamar Griffin, had a stepson. This stepson would be none other than Reggie Bush, a player who was gaining fame playing college football and arguably one of the most anticipated pro prospects in football history. Lake provided Griffin a home as well as other benefits in return for his stepson Reggie Bush signing with his sports agency when he decided to play in the NFL.
They just got information, hearsay information, from two guys. One guy's name is Michael Michaels, another guy's name is Lloyd Lake. Both these guys are convicted felons. And the NCAA did not care to check their police record, did not care to put any value to the fact that maybe these dudes are trying to blackmail.
The situation was much deeper than what the NCAA thought it was bringing to the light. It wasn't a case of if Bush had violated his NCAA regulations, but it was more of a case where Bush was being exploited by a family friend for the hopes of future benefits he could pay back with a successful NFL career. Unfortunately, the damage would already start to settle in as sanctions began to rain down on USC and Bush. And this is where the NCAA would completely fail Reggie Bush. As a result of the allegations which were pinned against Reggie, the NCAA would force the Hall of Famer to return his Heisman Trophy.
2005 Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush of Southern California is giving back his trophy. USC was hit with heavy sanctions by the NCAA this summer after determined Bush had received improper benefits. The NCAA ruled that Bush was ineligible for the 2005 season, which opened the possibility that the Heisman Trophy Trust would take back the award. In his statement, Bush of the New Orleans Saints said media speculation about the Heisman has been both painful and distracting. He also said he wants to work with the Heisman Trust to develop an educational program for athletes so they can avoid the mistakes he made. This marks the first time college football's top award has been returned by a recipient.
Football world would break out into uproar as some experts thought this was a fair punishment, while other experts thought it was completely out of line.
It's his right. But if it were me, Skip Bayless, I'd still have the Heisman. I would not have given it back. I don't care what anybody says. That's my Heisman Trophy. I earned it. Reggie Bush did not cheat. He didn't take performance-enhancing drugs. He didn't go on the field and cheat in any way. According to the allegations, obviously his family received hundreds of thousands of dollars from 2 agents, sports marketers, paid for everything from hotel stays to a rent-free home where Bush's family apparently lived, a limousine, transportation, and a new suit he wore accepting his Heisman Trophy award. There's nothing about that says to me there was an advantage that occurred on the field of play.
After years of making millions of dollars on athletes like Reggie, the NCAA seemed to have wanted to make this situation personal. Let's be real, we all remember the front cover of NCAA 06, and not to mention the countless number of jersey sales that the NCAA has benefited from. It was evident that Reggie Bush was robbed. Fast forward to 2024, and Reggie Bush has decided to sue the NCAA for defamation of character.
Reggie Bush did not accept any kind of pay for play for USC. The truth is, Reggie Bush played for USC out of devotion. Devotion that earned him many collegiate records and awards, including the Heisman Trophy, the highest honor bestowed on a college football player.
The NCAA has made a statement about me, accusing me of engaging in a pay-for-play arrangement, which is 100% not true. Not only is it not true, but there's no evidence to even support that claim.
Reggie Bush and college athletes here getting a $1,000 stipend per month. The NCAA and everybody else getting billions of dollars on the backs of these young men and women.
This case is still currently ongoing, and the NCAA now has to answer for their decisions. And this is how the NCAA failed Reggie Bush. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you want to see the wide receiver who broke college football or the tight end that changed football, click either one of these videos.